DIY plug-in solar with zero export functionality. This system right here may just make plug-in solar accessible to all of you. And plug-in solar works, you guys. I haven't had my system installed for even 90 days yet. And you can see it's already generated 169.62 kilowatt hours. And I don't even have the optimal placement for this. You can see I've got some shading that starts affecting these panels fairly early on in the afternoon. This is one of the cheapest, easiest ways to insure yourself against the ever-rising prices of energy these days. This system is from Mango Power. And in this video, I'm going to focus on the current limiting zero export functionality of their smart gateway system. I'm going to put it through a variety of tests to see how quickly it reacts, how well it throttles the solar, as well as different scenarios like if your Wi-Fi went down, how does the system behave? With that said, if you're new to plug-in solar, you also need to watch my first video showcasing this system, where I unbox everything, assemble everything, and then commission the system and show you real-world performance numbers. So that's a must-watch, and I will leave a link for it down in the description, as well as here in the top right corner. Let's get this gateway unboxed. Obviously, we have the gateway itself. Next, we have a power cord, and we've got some current transformer clamps, CT clamps. So first thing I'm going to connect for this gateway is the power cables. We've got red, black, and white. So our red and our black are 2 hots because we need 240 volt power, and our white is our neutral. Now you need to connect your red and your white cables to 2 different legs of your panel. See how there's a black leg here and a red leg here? The red leg comes down and feeds this bus bar right here, and it looks like my finger's like way close. It's actually not. And the power is turned off, and I verified that it's off, but still want to be careful when you're working in a breaker panel. So red feeds this bus bar over here, black feeds this bus bar over here. Now you can see that in every other slot, we've got a place right here where the power from the black bus bar will feed, and then the next slot down is where the red bus bar feeds. And so we have the same thing up here. So I've got these 2 breakers. I'm going to use the power from both of these so that I get a sense of power from both the black and the red legs. And then this silver bar right back here that has that white wire plugged into it, that's my neutral bus. And that is where our white wire for the gateway is going to plug. Just like that. We've got our 2 hots going to the 2 different breakers. And you can see our neutral back here coming over to the neutral bus. But next I want to work on these CT clamps. Now notice that they're labeled L1, L2. So we need L1, L2. So be sure and connect them to the right wire. Also, there is an arrow here printed on the side. However, in the documentation, it does not specify which direction the arrow needs to point. So we will find out here in this video so you know. And just like that, we're connected up on the CTs. Now you can't screw these connections up because there is only one way that they will fit. For easy testing and filming purposes, I'm going to leave this out of the panel, but it's very small. And if you have somewhat of a panel that's not full of other fun gadgets and gizmos, this will probably actually fit inside. Worst case scenario, you may have to take out a knockout and run these wires out of the enclosure and install this outside. So let's go ahead and apply full power here. And you'll see that we've got a light on the gateway. Next, open the Mango Power app here. Come down here to Devices, and then we're going to go ahead and hit Add Device. You'll see it's actually already found it here. So we're going to go ahead and tap on that. And then you need to put in your 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi credentials. And we're all connected. Now, let me give you all a pro tip. When I was first trying to connect this gateway to the Wi-Fi, I kept getting this error. It said something or other had timed out. I had been typing in the password and everything correctly. I was on a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. Everything was correct. The issue was my gateway ended up having incompatible firmware. And so I simply had to reach out to Mango Power, and they were able to push a firmware update to this. And as soon as that happened, I was able to connect it successfully right to the Wi-Fi. The chances of others of you having that similar issue is pretty minimal because, I'm on the bleeding edge of this new technology, brand spanking new. But if you have connectivity issues when you go to get this to the Wi-Fi, it could potentially just be a firmware issue that Mango needs to push for you. So now that it's connected, I don't know if you can see, but that green light is just kind of pulsing, which means it's in normal operation. Okay, so next we need to pair this gateway with the plug-in solar kit. So you might be able to see this grayed out button right here. We're going to tap on that, and it's going to ask us to bind a meter with the serial number. We can just tap on that, and it will allow us to use the camera to scan the code on the bottom. There we go. So let's hit bind, and there we go. It's now bound, and we are ready to officially start testing. So I've got a little monitoring setup here. I've brought the plug-in solar right here, and I'm running it through this watt meter so we can actually see what's going on. Currently, it's unrestricted, about 815 watts coming in, and it comes over here, and just outside that door right there is my solar array. I have two dedicated 20 amp circuits here, so I'm going to feed the solar in on one, and I'm going to run some loads on the other. But currently that's all that is running on this panel. I've got everything shut down here on my tower of power. So the only things consuming power would be this gateway and my little monitoring system. And we can see that here by tapping on this. And you can see line 1 has 0.7 watts being drawn off of it. However, line 2 has 820 watts. We have gone up a little bit, 821. This is registering 826. So the gateway is officially sensing that there's power coming in from that solar. So now what we need to do is go to this little settings cog for the solar array, and we're going to turn on anti-backflow. Go ahead and hit OK. Let's watch this power here. We should see it drop down. The smart gateway has officially shut the solar down because there are no loads running here. So now let's plug a load in. This is going to be about a 600 watt load. And let's just watch this here. We still have not ramped back up on our solar production. We can see a negative figure of power coming out on the gateway monitoring. The fact that we haven't gotten any solar going makes me think that maybe my CT clamps are backwards. So let me try flipping those around. So before I had those little arrows pointing towards the loads or with the flow of power from the grid. So I'm going to flip them so that the arrows are pointing back towards the grid. Okay, got those CTs flipped. And you can see now instead of a negative figure, we've got a positive figure, 0.8 watts, line 2, 2.3 watts. So let's plug this power station back in now. And let's see if we can start getting some solar. So you can see now it says 831.4 watts on line 2. Positive instead of a negative figure. Still have no solar power coming in. So you guys, I wonder if I need to be on line 1, because if we go here and we go to this meter detail information, you can see it says total active power 0.7 watts, which is what is on my line 1. So I wonder if this is going to sample line 1 and use that as the side that the plug-in solar needs to be on. Let me try that. Okay, so what I did is I just switched my CT clamps and I changed them back so that the arrow is pointing towards the loads. So now let's plug this load in and let's see if there's any difference now. Aha, look at that. We're going up. So that was the issue, you guys. So if you're not getting any kind of limiting, try switching them from the different wires. And then the correct direction is the arrow pointing towards the loads. So I've got my clamp meter here on this line 2 cable. You can see we're currently pulling 5 watt. Oh, look at that. You just saw it. So we're like 5.4 amps. And then all of a sudden the solar turned on. So I had unplugged it temporarily and plugged it back in. And so now look at that. We're only pulling 0.3 amps from the grid. And I really like that. So we're still pulling just a teeny bit of power from the grid so as to ensure that there's no backfeed happening. And that's the way you want to see it. I'm going to unplug the load right here. I'm going to train you guys on this amp clamp and let's see how fast this gateway can react. Because sometimes when you unplug a big load, it takes a minute to react. So unplugging, 3, 2, 1. That was pretty fast. Let's get a bigger load. Okay, I now have this electric space heater running. Our power is ramping up. So there we go. We've got our maximum 847 watts coming in. That's still not enough to offset the full load of that space heater. We're still pulling 4.76 amps from the grid. I'm gonna unplug the space heater. 3, 2, 1. So you can see it jumped up to 6 and now it's ramping down. So that's really fast. That is much faster than the Hoy Miles system that I've tested previous to now. So with this Mango Power system, you may get backfeeding for only like 2 seconds or something. And let me show you how fast this reacts too and boots up and starts offsetting power. Okay, so we're gonna plug this space heater back in and watch this. Immediately you start getting offset. It ramps up slowly because it doesn't want to necessarily overshoot. And you know, those MPPTs on the microinverters probably have to track and stuff again. But you can see it ramps up pretty darn quick. 858 watts. So I'm going to show you on this amp clamp one more time. And you'll see just a split second, the amps here jump up when I unplug this space heater. 3, 2, 1. Very fast reaction time. So is it perfect instantaneous reaction? Not quite. I'd say Mango Power has gotten this as fast as you possibly can for a system that relies on, you know, wireless Wi-Fi communication in order to, you know, react. So I got the electric space heater running again. We've got 800 plus watts coming in now again from the solar. Now I want to see what happens if this gateway were to lose connection for some reason. So I'm going to pull the plug on that. Let's see if oh, look at that. That is cool. The power goes down to the gateway. The solar system is going to default in the off position, which is exactly what you want to see because you don't want it to get stuck on producing power unthrottled if you're relying on that to prevent backfeeding. Okay, now the opposite. Let's say that your power or connectivity comes back. There we go. Oh, red, blinking green, and look at that. Immediately, as soon as this boots back up, we start getting power from the solar array again. So now I want to see what happens if we lose internet connectivity. So here's my Wi-Fi router. See the lights are all green on it right now. I'm going to turn it off. There we go. And look at that. We've got no power being generated by the solar panels, even though they're still, you know, physically connected to the electricity. So that's what we want to see. So if for some reason you have a Wi-Fi outage or something like that, you won't be stuck backfeeding power because this thing cannot communicate with the inverters. So I've got this space heater turned up to high, power being produced from the solar, 877 watts. I'm going to unplug the heater, move this power station over, and plug it in now. And I'm going to demonstrate that this does actually throttle the output of your solar system to match the load. So you can see we're ramping back up. However, this power station is only going to pull 600-ish watts. And you can see that the solar is indeed just offsetting that load. In fact, it's dropping here because the power station is getting full. So we have the capability of feeding in over 800 plus watts with the current state of the sun outside, but our loads aren't consuming that, and so this gateway is throttling the power output down accordingly. And that's awesome. But that's where the power of my next hack that I'm going to be making a video about comes into play. And that's where I'm going to add battery storage to this system. So that way we can still make use of the full 800 whatever watts being generated off the solar and still make use of the throttling, but then use that extra power we generate during the day into the nighttime hours and speed up your return on investment all the faster. So be excited for that video because that's the next testing video I'm going to be doing on this plug-in solar system. In the meantime, to whet your appetite, I'm going to leave links to 2 videos down in the description that show that concept working on other systems so you can kind of get a sneak peek and understanding of the concept. All right, all you smart people in the comments, please take a minute down in the comments and tell us your thoughts and observations. Do you think that a system like this, with a gateway like this that reacts as fast as this one does and provides the zero export functionality, do you think that's enough to fly under the radar, so to speak, in a state that hasn't necessarily legalized plug-in solar yet? And do you think that short, like 2-second blip of potential backfeeding is going to be a problem. And no, I'm not advocating for you to do something that's illegal or dangerous or that will get you in trouble where you live. I'm just genuinely curious why, if you have something like this, couldn't you use it somewhere that hasn't fully passed a law on it, but where all the other places that have passed laws haven't required any additional upgrades to your electrical system or anything like that. They just want a dedicated circuit and inverters that will keep linemen safe during a power outage and also run safely at people's properties. So it seems like if you can just eliminate the grid basically from the equation and just use the electricity on your property for your house, what's the difference between that and wheeling a portable power station up to behind your fridge and plugging your fridge into that and throwing solar panels outside and doing basically the same thing? This just utilizes your home's existing electrical infrastructure. Like I said at the beginning, be sure and check out the full video in-depth testing on the system as a whole and the assembly and commissioning and stuff like that. That'll be linked in the description. I'll also have links to this kit, which now just automatically ships with all the solar panels, inverters, stands, and gateway, all included straight to your door. I'll also leave any coupon codes that I can get you from Mango Power down there as well. There will also be links where you can book a one-on-one video consultation with me, submit a guaranteed to be answered question, as well as everyone's favorite, my custom YouTube channel search engine, where you can go ahead and search any query, any question you have, and it will surface results, including timestamps in older videos that you maybe just didn't realize existed, and can get help and assistance and insight from that. So take advantage of all of those resources down in the description. Huge thanks to my channel members for your continued support. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and hype on your way out, you guys. That just helps get these videos in front of more eyeballs. This kind of thing is what the masses really need. It's a cost-effective, easy way to kind of push back and put valuable money back in your pocket, and it will only increase its rate of return as time goes on as the prices continue to go up. Like I said, be excited for the battery testing video coming up soon as well. So be subscribed, stay safe, and we'll catch y'all next time.